myself Vidangin. I'm a legal intern at Lexis and Company. So guys, my today's topic for the discussion is the analysis of National Green Tribunal Act 2010. So let's begin. So the National Green Tribunal was established in 2010, which was under the National Green Tribunal Act, and this act is related to the disposal of civil cases in relation to the environmental protection and also for the conservation of the natural resources. There is an inclusion of legal rights which are related to the environment, and the National Green Tribunal Act 2010 is enacted under Article 21 of the Constitution, and it explains the right to live in a clean and healthy environment. Now let's talk about the statement of the object and the reasons for the enactment of this act. So in recent years, a lot of pressure has been imposed on the natural resources of the environment due to the expansion of the industries, transportation and increasing urbanization, and there are a lot of pending cases related to the environment in other courts. So this reason includes setting up of NGT under this act. Also, India, being a member of the United Nations Conference on Human Environment, called upon to provide a very effective judicial and administrative proceedings and to redress the liabilities regarding the national laws for the victims in relation to the environment, pollution and damage. The main object is the right to life and a healthy environment, which is given under Article 21 of the Constitution, has been constructed in the manner of judicial proceeding, and the National Green Tribunal is enacted for the strict liability which can be imposed after one indulges in the environmental damages or the accidents related to hazardous substances. Also, there is setting up of NGT under this act for better relief and compensation with regards to the damages to persons, property and the environment. Now let's talk about the National Green Tribunal Bill 2009. So as the National Green Tribunal was set up with the legal rights to the environment for the effective disposal of the cases, so accordingly it has been decided for the introduction of the National Green Tribunal Bill 2009, which lays down the following procedure. That is, for the establishment of the National Green Tribunal, the composition must include a chairperson, judicial experts and environmental experts according to the central government notification. Also, the person should be the judge of the Supreme Court or the Chief Justice of the High Court to be appointed as the chairperson of the tribunal. The person who has been qualified as a judge of the High Court shall be given the eligibility to be a judicial member of the tribunal, and in the appointment of expert member, one needs to be expert either in the physical sciences, life sciences, or one who has dealt with the environmental matters. Now let's talk about the composition of the tribunal. So section 4 of this act provides that the tribunal shall consist of an eligible chairperson as per defined in National Green Tribunal Bill 2009, who should be a full-time chairperson, and 10 to 12 full-time judicial members or as per the central government notification, and the chairperson has the power of calling the specialized person who has a particular experience to the tribunal for assistance. The central government can notify only about the territorial jurisdiction falling under a particular place of sitting, and the central government, with the consultation of the chairperson, can make the rules and regulations in relation to the tribunal. Now talking about the qualifications of the members, so the chairperson should be qualified as a judge of the Supreme Court or the Chief Justice of the High Court. The member of the tribunal should have a qualification in relation to the judge of the High Court as a judicial expert, and as a non-judicial expert, one should have the degree of Masters in Science, a doctorate degree, or with a master's degree in engineering. Now section 14 of this act talks about the jurisdiction of the tribunal. That is, the tribunal has jurisdiction over the civil cases which are in consonance of the matters related to the environment. The tribunal shall involve the disputes related to these matters, and the application should only be made in the time span of 6 months from the commencement of the cause of the action. Talking about section 29 of this act, so it provides for the bar of the jurisdiction. That is, no civil court is determined to entertain any case which is empowered to determine as an appeal. The civil courts are also barred to entertain any question which is related to the compensation or relief given by the tribunal, and no civil court is given the permission to grant an injunction on a particular case before the tribunal, which is in the respect of the settlement of disputes in the case of compensation or the restitution of the property. Now there is a question that who can file an application before the court. So any person who has sustained the injury under this act any legal representative of the deceased in which the cause of death is related to the environment, any agent of the property of aggrieved but deceased, and any person aggrieved including the representative body or an organization can file the application before the court. What is the procedure for filing an application or appeal before the court? So the official language of the National Green Tribunal is English, and it is very simple to file an application seeking for the environmental damages. For every application, when there is no compensation involved, so one needs to fill the application and provide with the fee of ₹1000, and if the compensation is to be rendered, then one has to give 1% of the compensation received, and it should be minimum to ₹1000. Now, claim for the compensation can be made for the following, like relief or compensation was given to the victims of the pollution and damage to the environment with the hazardous substance. It also includes the restitution of the property which is damaged, restitution of the environment for the areas which are determined by the NGT. No application can be entertained until and unless it is made within a time span of 5 years from the date of arising of the cause of action, and any person who is aggrieved by the decision or award of the court, he or she can appeal to the Supreme Court under Section 22 of this Act. Now, talking about Section 24 of this Act, so there are certain limitations to the compensation that have been mentioned, which are as follows: that application for the relief cause should be made within a time span of 5 years. Compensation heads which are payable under Schedule 2 are like death or temporary disability of a person, inclusion of the loss of wages and medical expenses when it has caused damage to private property or personal property, and inclusion of the expenses which are incurred by the government for providing relief to the affected party, compensation that is required for the environmental restoration of the quality, loss of business, and claims emerging out of the activities dealing with the hazardous substances. Now, there are certain powers of the tribunal that are mentioned and provided under Section 19 of the Act, and these powers are: power to relief by issuing the compensation to the aggrieved person after analyzing the matter in a scientific manner, issuance of the commission for witnessing the document, reviewing the decision of a particular case. It has a power of dismissing the application if it is considered to have a defaulted or if it is decided to be ex parte. Granting the interim orders are considered as a power of the tribunal, and power to give an order regarding the seizement of a person from further committing or violating of the enactments. And under Section 20 of this Act, the tribunal has the power to pass any order or award in relation to the substantial development. And under Section 21 of this Act, decisions which are taken by the majority of the members in the tribunal are considered as binding on the aggrieved parties. Now, Section 26 of this Act provides for the penalty for the failure to comply with the awards of the tribunal. So, the provisions laid down for the punishment are that imprisonment that is extended up to 3 years, fine which may extend up to 10 crores or with both imprisonment and the fine, and in case if the contravention is still followed every day, then the amount of 25,000 rupees will be charged every day. And in case if the company fails to comply with the provisions, so such company shall be punishable with a fine which may extend to 25 crores, and in case if the contravention continues, then additional fine with 1 lakh of rupees may extend. Now, what we can conclude from this entire act is that it is justifiable that NGT is of great importance when it comes to cases in relation to the broad environmental problems, and it is a tool for sharing and enhancing more substantial development of the environment. And the great need to know about conflict includes when the matters related to water, air, land has emerged on which various judgments are to be given. But it is an advantage that due to the NGTs, lawyers are encouraged to specialize in environmental law, and the tribunal is therefore considered as an important aspect to provide justice in the matters related to environment. So a time is awaited when our environment will be given most importance through the medium of law pertaining to it. So guys, that's all about my discussion on this particular topic. I hope you all liked my video. If you guys have any doubt with regard to this video, then you can comment in the comment section. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel Lex Click. We will meet in the next video. Till then, bye.